Harry and Meghan face being snubbed from the biggest Hollywood wedding of the year. This is going to be humiliating for Harry and Meghan.
This is Harry and Meghan's worst nightmare. It's devastating. It's a setback. But Harry, in my opinion, James, I think is existential. So financially, he's in the doo-doo.
Hollywood's abandoned him.
Why has the nuclear button not been pressed of essentially throw him out?
We are sitting on a bombshell exclusive, a massive, massive story. Mark, welcome back to the show. Great to have you again.
Great to see
JJ
you.
once more.
No, well, that's it. I'm afraid you've been a rather successful stand-in. Our viewers are loving it. So.
Well, one viewer in the comments said, "Where is JJ? Why is Mr. Bean hosting the podcast?" I'd just like to say, that's quite unfair on Mr. Bean. Wouldn't you say so, Mark?
Listen, Mr. Bean is one of the most recognisable men in the world. He's a global icon.
And a buffoon.
Well, we're all a bit buffoonery, but I tell you what, aren't we sitting on some big ones today?
We are sitting on a bombshell exclusive, Mark, a massive, massive story. This is going to be humiliating for Harry and Meghan. Hollywood is turning its back on the Sussexes. Here's the story, Mark. The Sunday Express has reported exclusively that Harry and Meghan face being snubbed from the biggest Hollywood wedding of the year. Mark, Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau are set to wed. That's the rumour around town. Right, that's the rumour in Tinseltown that Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau are going to get married later this year. It's going to be the Hollywood event of the year, perhaps the Hollywood event of the decade. Major political power brokers are going to be there. Every household name in Tinseltown is going to be there. The big stars from the movies. Everyone you can imagine is going to be there. Do you know who's not going to be there, Mark? Harry and Meghan. What does that mean for them?
This is Harry and Meghan's worst nightmare. The Sussex brand is in meltdown. And this is a double snub because it's Katy Perry snubbing Meghan, whose background is in the world of entertainment as a TV actress. Katy Perry, one of the most famous singers in the world. So that's a blow to Meghan. Meanwhile, Justin Trudeau is the former Prime Minister of Canada. And that's a blow to Harry because Harry sees himself as this global influencer, sees himself in the mold of some of those ex-presidents like Barack Obama, an ex-prime minister like Trudeau. He sees himself as a sort of George Clooney figure, if you like. You know, you've got your business interests and you've got your career, but you're trying to make the world a better place. Keynote speeches. Of course, there are other examples of people that Harry models himself on. That's why he's got Invictus. He wants to kind of transcend his royal status. Well, good luck with that when the ex-prime minister of Canada doesn't invite you to your wedding. And so it's devastating. It's a setback. It's a big, big practical problem. And there are so many aspects to which this is an insult. They're quite well known, Harry and Meghan. And you might expect Katy Perry and Trudeau to invite them just to have a few more celebs in the crowd. And we saw that with Taylor Swift, who invited anyone she's ever met to come to her wedding, right? And I think one of the reasons why, fair play to her, you know, she is showbiz, right?
Yeah.
She did her wedding in a very Taylor Swift way. She's the...
Not in a very tasteful way.
No, but that, do you know, the thing is, that's not the brand.
No.
Because that's why you see it's so devastating for Harry and Meghan not to be invited to this wedding, Katy Perry and Trudeau, is because Harry and Meghan's brand is that we're part of this world. That's how they identify as global celebrities. So if they're not there, well, then they're not global celebrities and they're not players in Hollywood. So it demonstrates that not only are they irrelevant to the point where Katy Perry's like, well, we don't need them there. I've got enough famous friends. I think it's worse than that. I think it's because Katy Perry, who's got her head screwed on, she's not a stupid girl. She's thinking, if I invite these two upstarts, we're going to have bad headlines. There's going to be a fight over what was written in the invitation. There's going to be a row over whether they were photographed at the venue. Meghan may have been a victim of some microaggression over the wedding cake, that she wasn't offered the cake first.
She didn't get to cut it.
That's exactly it. So, you know, would you invite this couple who are experts in misery and who generates bad headlines on a daily basis. I mean, all they do is bring... Do you remember a little while ago we were talking about the MasterChef show?
You said a little while ago, Mark. That was yesterday, mate.
It was quite extraordinary.
Feels like a long time, right?
An elephant memory. Bottom line is that, you know, that was just an invitation onto a cookery show, and it ends in a row and bad headlines. So I think maybe Katy Perry doesn't want that. It's humiliating for Harry because, you know, he wants to consider himself an equal of Justin Trudeau. He wants to think that he's the ex-president of some particular place. And, you know, especially, I would say it's worse for Harry than Meghan, because Meghan, okay, you know what the world of showbiz is like. You're hot, you're not hot. It changes by the day. It's a little bit like the stock market. You know, and if Meghan does a different show with another streaming giant and then it's a hit, suddenly she's back in. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Peter Sellers, the comedy actor, if you remember him. And he was a massive star in across the world and in America. And then he had a few flop movies. And he was in LA, and he said there were famous people and also influential people that crossed the road to avoid him. This was Peter Sellers. Right? And then a few years later, he comes back with the Pink Panther and he's back. So Meghan can have her ups and downs, right? And it's a terrible hit, but we'll take it. Yeah. For Harry, in my opinion, James, I think it's existential. Because if Justin Trudeau does not want Harry there, well, then Harry's entire identity is gone.
He's the charity man, right? He's the sort of soft diplomat. He's the...
Thank you.
He's the showman, right? Well, not much the showman. He's the kind of... what would you call it, Mark? The philanthropist.
That's
right?
exactly it.
He's a philanthropist. He's supposed to be that kind of guy, the dignified guy you can be seen with, the royal guy who's going his own way, doing international stuff rather than just staying at home and cutting ribbons.
Making the world a better place.
That was the whole reason he left the whole institution, right?
Exactly like an ex-politician. And that's what ex-politicians do. US presidents, they have their library and then they go around and they make sort of non-political speeches that are hopefully just going to like enhance the discourse. And that's how Harry sees himself. And that's why we're staring down the barrel of a big thing here for Harry, which is existential. Like I said, you know, Meghan, okay, you know, Hollywood is done with Meghan. That's fine. It's an ugly business. It's a tough town.
Yes.
Right? She'll bounce back. If there's one thing we know about Megs, she's determined and she's ruthless, but she's also resilient. Harry, on the other hand, you could have a perfect storm whereby, well, we know that he's not bringing any money in. The speaking engagements have gone from $1 million per speech to 50K. And even those jobs, I'm told, are not coming in. And then, you know, he's made his money with Spare. Do they want a second book? Not by the looks of it. And of course, how does he rebuild his relationship with Charles if there's another book on the way? Ain't going to happen. So financially, he's in the doo-doo. And his comfort zone, not making any money, is to say, all right, well, I don't make money, but I am this global figure. Well, wait a minute. People like Justin Trudeau don't want you at their wedding, which would have been the ultimate blessing to say, you know, you're one of us. You're a player. Okay. But then what if he loses Invictus too? Because as we've reported on this show, Paula Froelich is a brilliant journalist. Paula Froelich Unfiltered, right? Unmissable YouTube show. She's reporting that next year's Invictus could be Harry's could be the last Invictus altogether. I suspect it will always survive nominally as some kind of, a little bit like Archwell Philanthropies, which changes its name every 10 minutes. But it's not impossible. I know it's not impossible that Invictus is effectively shuttered after next year. At which point, what is Harry for?
Well, at that point, right, he's left royal life, so he's no longer a royal. He hasn't got Invictus Games, which I think is a very noble event.
It's a great event.
I think it's quite sad that it might be on.
Well, the people are great. The events, not so much.
Well,
the people are great. I mean, I only say that with the outrageous cost, but I love the veterans involved.
The charity stuff, that's all dried up with the whole Centibale scandal, right? So what's left to him? Well, what's left to him, Mark, is appearing down on a Zoom call on MasterChef Australia on the 4th highest rated network.
Well, you and I talked about that 3 weeks ago on this show, didn't we? Yesterday. One thing's for sure,
it's embarrassing.
The one kind of say that the chat about MasterChef Australia, it may have been yesterday. One thing for sure, it was not today, and I've changed my outfit.
You definitely have changed your outfit. It's definitely not today.
I know it's odd because you're wearing the same clothes, but that's because...
I was out late. drinking or
Yeah,
something.
I heard that your girlfriend left you and you don't know where the iron is, so you just wore the same outfit. Have you ever done that, by the way? You wake up in the morning and you smell the shirt and you're like, that'll do.
Absolutely not. I'm a grown man.
I've revealed too much in that anecdote.
Everything is digital now, isn't it? Your money, your photos, even your loyalty card at the coffee shop. So there's something quietly brilliant about owning one thing that isn't on a screen. Real gold bullion. The weight of it, the shine, it's just a lovely thing to hold. The Pure Gold Company, which was voted the UK's best gold broker, makes owning physical gold really simple. Tax-free gold coins from the Royal Mint with friendly one-to-one guidance from your first question to final delivery. There's no jargon, no pressure, no call centre queues. It's insured to your door or stored in a secure professional vault. So visit the Pure Gold Company today and tell them JJ sent you.
Oh, by the way, it gets worse, doesn't it, James? Because where's the wedding going to happen?
Well, Mark, the wedding is going to happen most likely in Montecito itself, Harry and Meghan's backyard. They're completely ostracised, right, Mark? I mean, Paula Frolic, like you say, great show. She was on this show as well. Amazing episode. Go watch it if you can find it. We'll put it in the description below. She said all their neighbours in Montecito hate them. And why is that, Mark? Do you know?
Well, I know that it's been reported that they're not exactly locally active.
That's one way of putting it.
There was a kindly old man that approached their mansion with a DVD of the history of Montecito, which he thought might be of interest. And he got short shrift reportedly and went to the press saying, I just wanted them to know about the area that they now live in.
No way.
And felt quite abandoned.
Wow. That's shocking.
Yeah, that was widely reported.
That was one of their neighbours.
Mm-hmm.
Deary
The guy
me.
that's been there, living there for years.
I mean,
It's quite a historic
way.
place, Montecito. It wasn't always the playground of the rich.
Deary me. They really are up themselves, aren't they, those two? Well, look, apparently that doesn't fly well with their other neighbours, big name neighbours. Gwyneth Paltrow, Jennifer Aniston, Kevin Costner, Steven Spielberg, you may have heard of him.
Once or twice.
Sunday Express is hearing that all of them, without fail, are keeping their distance from the Sussexes. And this one, Mark, is even more dramatic. This is a huge bombshell. Even Oprah is quietly distancing herself from Meghan and Harry. How does that bode for Harry and Meghan?
Well, it's a disaster, and it must be a very lonely place to be in Montecito, but not loved by Hollywood, because Montecito is essentially Hollywood suburbia, isn't it? It's rich Hollywood suburbia. It's where these stars actually live, because people think they're all on the Hollywood Hills and all of that. It's like, no. You got an estate an hour and a half away. Lots of land, much safer as well, security, all the rest of it, which is why all these big stars are there. And it's got to really hurt. I mean, the falling out, which I reported on the Mark Dolan show between Gwyneth Paltrow and Meghan, was wild. And this is because Gwyneth Paltrow, who's an incredibly talented actress, I mean, in my opinion, James, Gwyneth is everything that Meghan wants to be. Because Gwyneth did a bit of acting, consequences of which were part of the Marvel universe. So she's sold hundreds of millions of tickets to her movie. So she's done the box office popcorn movie. She's done the art house kind of award-winning stuff. She's Oscar-winning. So she's nailed acting. Now she picks and chooses what she wants.
Selling her weird candles. But they're doing well.
Well, what she's got, Gwyneth, is something called eggs, which go in an intimate region.
Dear me, we'll move on.
The lady. Yeah. And I'm not gonna. I don't have to say where the egg goes. I could say
use your imagination.
Well, the eggs would go where the eggs maybe would, in principle, emanate from.
Yeah.
Okay? And so the egg goes back in. I just want you to know, full disclosure, because Gwyneth's litigious. Okay. And so I'm going to tell you that I'm wearing 3 of Gwyneth's eggs at the moment.
Oh, dearie me.
Yes. And I've never felt better. I've not blinked once since I sat down.
Oh, my God.
I'm sweating slightly, but I'm told that's good. It's called exfoliation. Look, the bottom line, they went in very easy, which I think's surprising. Gwyneth, right? Gwyneth is everything Meghan wants to be. Oscar-winning actress. She has the website, which is called Goop, which is equivalent to Meghan's whole The Tig business and also the With Love Meghan. Well, Goop is a very successful enterprise.
She sells stuff.
Yeah, and she's got a big team and it also makes headlines. And then she's Hollywood royalty because her father was Bruce Paltrow, who's a legendary director, and her mother is an amazing actress, beautiful lady called Blythe Danner. She's got a handsome Hollywood husband. And these are the sort of people with pedigree. Gwyneth's. I know, by the way, not all of our viewers like Gwyn.
Right.
Okay, but I just think that she's not like Meghan. She's not a grifter. She's not a pretender. She's got the T-shirt. She's got the... Anyway, so people like that, the Clooneys as well, abandoning the Sussexes. And so it's a big, big problem. I mean, the Clooneys, don't get me started. George and Harry were besties. And George has effectively moved away from the Sussexes. And do you want to know who he hangs out with now?
Go on.
William and Charles.
That is going to hurt Harry, right?
Yikes.
Wow.
Yikesies.
So how come he's made that switch from Harry to Wills? Need I ask?
I respect the Americans because the Americans, what they appreciate is endeavor. They like talent, but they especially like application of talent. And the Americans will forgive failure if it's as a result of effort.
Yeah.
Right? It's a myth that Americans just don't like you if you don't win. It's not true. They want to see, they love a comeback story, a redemption story. And if you fall down, it's about how quickly you get up.
Yep.
And so people like Clooney is a good example of that. He transitioned. No, that's another story. Can everyone please calm down? There goes your first YouTube strike. I'll see you in court. Mr. Clooney, what remarks did Mr. Dolan make on his popular hit show, The Daily Expresso, with Cub reporter James...
Cub reporter, watch yourself.
James Walker. He transitioned successfully from TV on a show called ER, which was a medical drama, into the movies. That's really hard to do. These days, TV's massive. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was really hard. Once you're a TV actor, you were labeled. There was snobbery in Hollywood if you were in TV. He made it. Incredible director, married to Amal, who's a human rights lawyer. Beautiful lady, accomplished lady. So these people are achievers. And if he looks at Harry and Meghan, and he's like, well, they're constantly like, lying about their lives. You've got Harry who's moaning about growing up in palaces and all of this stuff, defaming the royal family. And I think Clooney is just like, well, look, Clooney can reflect on his own life. I've worked hard and I've made something, I've just built this with my bare hands. And then you've got this aristocrat who's won the womb lottery, who turns up, decides his family are evil, this and that. And I think Clooney's like, sorry, you're not my kind of person. I can't do business with you. I think that George Clooney looks at someone like William and relates to him. Why? Because, of course, William's privileged. Yes.
A little bit.
He's next in line to the throne. But what has William done with his life? I mean, his big focus is homelessness, the Earthshot Prize, climate change, poverty, mental health. He's getting things done.
It's cracking on.
And I think that Clooney will look at William and see a real, consequential public figure using his platform to make a positive difference. Catherine as well, with her focus on nature and the importance of nature for mental health and particularly child development. And Amal and George will admire that too. It's the same with the Beckhams. The Beckham and the Sussexes fell out. He's all in with the king and he's a knight of the realm now. And David Beckham and the king exchange notes on gardening and they have a whiskey together.
Wow. And
so there's a clear pattern emerging here. But what do Clooney, Paltrow and Beckham have in common?
They're successful.
Thank you.
And like you say, Americans in particular don't want to be hanging around a man who's like, oh, it's so hard growing up in a palace and having all that money and all those sofas and blah, 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 blah. You don't want to hear it, right? Americans, a lot of them build themselves up from not very much and become superstars, multimillionaires. The whole country's built on a philosophy of pull yourself up by the bootstraps, as Thatcher famously said. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, sort yourself out, get your life in order, and stop whinging so much, right?
I think that's
What does he do? He's the perennial whinger.
And he's become a figure of ridicule on the late night talk shows, which were previously quite Harry friendly, and now they're mocking him.
Well, they're having him on. Right, they're having him on to tell his story.
Letting him make a fool of himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is, again, Hollywood's not taking him seriously. Hollywood's abandoned him. I think it's over for Harry.
By the
and
way,
Meghan.
what do you think of Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau getting married? Because that, in any other normal sort of scenario, that would be a conversation in itself, wouldn't
Mark, what a world we live in, eh? I mean, it's
If
crazy
you just process,
timeline.
You've got, I mean, Trudeau is part of,
Yeah.
he's part of a Canadian political dynasty.
Like the Kennedys almost.
Yes. And then you've got Katy Perry, a daughter of, I believe, evangelical Christians. And then she goes and throws her naked body around the place with songs like I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It.
Yep.
By the way, no judgment. I think she's a wonderful talent.
I think it's great.
But it's a contrast, isn't it? And then and by the way, Trudeau's married for many years.
Yeah.
A couple of kids, all of that. Ceases to be the Prime Minister of Canada. And now he marries a pop star. And of course, her background is her ex was Russell Brand. That's another story. I mean, what's going on?
Who knows, Mark? Who knows? But we wish them all the best, don't
Do you
we?
approve of the union?
I think so. Yeah, it's nice. Good for them.
What's going?
Good for them,
what's
I
going
say.
on? What's at play? What is that? What is that? Can you explain? Because I think said too much today, right?
Right.
I want to get an insight into your brain.
There's not much going on in there.
I've heard not too much. What I want to know, what you think as a young hipster. What does she see in him? What does he see in her? Explain it to me. Break it down. Because there's an age gap, isn't there?
Well, I suppose there's a bit of an age gap, but I mean, she's very successful in her own right. He's a former Prime Minister, right? He was Prime Minister for God knows how long. You've got your laptop in front of you. You can look it up.
Yeah, I mean, certainly approaching a decade, I would say.
Yeah, he's a successful, powerful man in his twilight years. Good-looking fellow as well. Let's be honest, that's probably all there is to it, Mark.
He cuts the look of a Disney prince, doesn't he? With that sort of floppy fringe and everything.
It makes you think of Beauty and the Beast or something, doesn't it? It's I can see why they're together, and all the best to them, I say. And I think they're clearly showing their wisdom in not inviting Harry and Meghan to their wedding. So all the best from the Daily Expresso team.
Do you think it'll work? I can give you the age gap. Do you want to guess how many years is the age gap?
10.
13.
Okay, I was close.
Yeah. He's 54 and she's 41.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It's not horrendous, is it?
That's fine.
What challenges do you think they'll face?
Well, they would have faced Harry and Meghan as a challenge, but that's no longer in the way.
I mean, maybe I'm being really ageist. I mean, I'm being ageist on myself because I'm also in my 50s. I'm 52.
Yeah.
And but I'm curious about. I think that the positive for those two is they clearly fell in love.
Yep.
Isn't it? This is not on paper a natural match. So when people who are very different get together, you're like, oh, they must like each other because they're very different.
Yeah.
So I think that's sweet, and they've overcome the age gap because of love, I suspect. She's probably like, look, I wasn't looking for a guy in his mid-50s, but he's special. I think that's what happens. If you go for an older partner, you sort of, you have to sort of like, you just take the hit, don't you? You're like,
yeah,
we're not the same age, but he or she are amazing, right? But I think that the challenges are going to be lifestyle related. I mean, she goes on these tours. She's got these fit dancers around her the whole time. He's at home with his pipe and slippers reading Canadian history.
What is not to like about that, Mark?
I don't think.
What an image.
I wish them well. I give it 5 years.
what a call. What a bet. Right. Well, if you're enjoying this episode so far.
No one expected that, did they?
They did not. I did not, frankly. It was not in the script. Look, if you're enjoying this episode so far.
It was also a big mistake.
No, it wasn't a big mistake. It was good. I liked it. It's good chat. Look, if you're enjoying the episode so far, hit like, share, subscribe, and don't forget what button, Mark? What button have I got to hit?
Subscribe.
No, the other one.
Join.
Deary me. It's what we like working with amateurs. Right, there's a hype button. Hit the hype button. More people will watch this video.
I'm like Justin
will see
Trudeau. I'm very middle-aged. I don't understand these things.
Mark,
we get Katy Perry to
we are the
explain it to
number
me.
one daily news show on YouTube in Britain. You got to up your game here, man. You got to know what a hype button is. Come on, dude. Help me out here.
I'm on it.
We'll move on. Speaking of Harry and Meghan,
I should say I'm hyping you.
You enjoying this?
Oh, I'm loving every
I'm
second.
loving it.
And I
I
know
think it's
our
great.
audience are too. I was telling you before we were on air, and we weren't wearing clothes, and that's another story. But I was saying that our audience will love you because you're very yourself.
I'm
In the
getting
media,
there.
that's a
I'm
rare
warming
thing.
up. Mr. Bean is fired up. Right. Moving on from Harry and Meghan's wedding snub, we can talk about another snub. Another royal snub, Mark. Andrew has been snubbed from Balmoral. This is what we're hearing, right? Sources told the Times that Andrew is not going to be invited to Balmoral this year. Why, Mark? Well, because apparently the royal family feel he's going to raise, well, considerable sensitivities they feel he's going to raise if he does come to Balmoral. I think that's just a polite way, Mark, of saying he's going to give everyone the creeps. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think it's not surprising. I think it's a smart move and maybe demonstrates a slightly more robust approach, a more muscular approach from the king, who was certainly a bit firmer with Harry in recent times with that row over Buckingham Palace. You know, the king he said, look, I need a week's notice if you're going to take a room at the palace. Harry reportedly says 2 days beforehand, I'll take a room. King Charles is like, sorry, a deal's a deal. And I think you're seeing the same thing now with Andrew, which is boundaries. And I think that King Charles removed him from the Royal Lodge, which was the right thing to do. And I think what you're now seeing is the new look relationship between the family and the black sheep.
Yeah. Devil's advocate here, Mark. He's not been prosecuted, right?
It's a very fair point.
Innocent until proven guilty. You know, I'm going to make devil's advocate here. Should they be ostracising him if he's not been found
You're
guilty?
You're a massive fan. You love Prince Andrew.
Stop that now. Stop that
I
now.
told you admire him.
Not a chance. No, he's not a role model. He's terrible. But anyway,
You've seen his little black book of numbers. You're like, I can't argue with that. That's even longer than JJ's.
Oh, God, speaking of which, can't wait for him to come back. Take this
Who's
seat.
Linda Lovelace?
Oh, dear, man.
But you're right to offer the devil's avocado because actually... the guy's been found guilty of no crime.
Yeah.
Some would argue that he's been subjected to trial by media, trial by public opinion, trial by kangaroo court. I mean, what we can agree is he's a man of poor judgment. Is that a landing spot for Andrew?
Certainly, and I should reiterate I was making the devil's advocate position. My actual position on Andrew is much harsher, and I think actually, in my book, Mark, Charles hasn't gone far enough. Sources told the Times this, right, Mark, that Andrew spends much of his time watching TV, walking his dogs, and making the most of his a modest stipend, supposedly, from Charles. For my money, Mark, King Charles shouldn't be giving Andrew anything, right? The guy has done, he might not have been found guilty in a court, but we do know of his interactions with Epstein, the stuff that's come out in the Epstein files. Shouldn't be getting a penny of taxpayers' money. He shouldn't be getting anything. He should be ostracised. He shouldn't be staying in royal property. He should be just chucked out and left to it. That's my money. What do you think?
Well, I think you're not wrong about that. But what Charles has encountered is something called politics. And I don't mean party politics of, the Labour Party or the Democrats or the Republicans. I'm talking about family politics and also the politics of the monarchy. And what I mean by that is that you need a solution. You see, politics is always about compromises. No one ever walks away the winner. And this is political for Charles because it's about the reputation of the monarchy and it's also about the internal family politics. So the public politics, the monarchy, the institution, which must always justify itself because it's paid for by the taxpayer. The goodwill of the people allow the continuity of the monarchy. So if, for example, King Charles is too generous to Andrew and welcomes him to Balmoral and gives him a stipend and lets him stay in the Royal Lodge, that becomes a political problem for the king because newspapers like the Daily Express and shows like this will say, wait a minute, why am I paying for this guy to live high on the hog?
Exactly.
So that's a political problem for Charles from a constitutional point of view. So that's why we've had the tough love. But why, therefore, has he not gone full James Walker?
Rambo.
Right? Why has the nuclear button not been pressed of essentially throw him out, render him homeless? There's a few reasons why. First of all, his safety. This is a famous man who also may have some dangerous friends or dangerous former friends. And I mean, you've got figures associated with the Epstein scandal who were alive and are not alive anymore. That's all I'm going to say.
What a road we're going down here.
Right. And we need say no more than that.
Yes.
There's a fascinating conversation to be had around the passing of Epstein himself.
Probably behind a paywall somewhere where no one can see
right.
it.
But he was in a jail and amazing, no security guard. And then you've got poor old Virginia Giuffre, may God rest his soul. So I'm not saying, but I would argue that the guy is not entirely an unmarked man. And of course, any crazy guy could just make do something crazy because he's a big famous man. So he needs security. He needs a degree of protection, because what happens, may God forbid, if he were harmed in some way, is that a good look for the king? Is that good for the monarchy? I don't think so. He needs to be safe. And the other issue is that they're brothers.
Yeah.
Charles also will take the view that this guy has been found guilty of no crime.
Mm-hmm.
Charles is kindly and forgiving. I mean, we know that because he's allowed Harry and Meghan to come back to Highgrove House. If that's not forgiving, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
So, and of course, there's also the commitment that he made to his mother before she passed that he would take care of Andrew, who is the younger brother. And then it's also a sibling thing. Blood is thicker than water. It is your brother. So I think you go for the public politics of it is, I need to be seen to act tough. Yes. This guy can't be living high on the hog. But I think that they felt that Sandringham was a compromise, because he loses the big Royal Lodge. You know, he's in a sort of relatively humble setting. He's got someone cooking his meals, but he's not exactly, you know, sort of... It's not...
not the full royal kit and caboodle, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's the compromise. And I think, but Balmoral is a smart move. I mean, can you imagine if he was there, you know, grinning like the idiot that sometimes he can be? And the other issue is you don't want to give him any encouragement. Do you remember when the Duchess of Kent sadly passed?
He tries to chat to Wills.
Right.
And Wills just goes, yeah, Andrew's trying to joke. He's trying to, and it's just kind of like, dude, read the room. You shouldn't even be here.
That's it.
Let alone joking around. So yeah, I think you're right. There's a certain wisdom in keeping away from Balmoral in that he just can't be trusted to read a room, to understand the situation, to understand his own position in the world now. He's just completely off with the fairies, isn't he? I think he's in his own little reality. And he's a huge, huge liability, Mark.
And there's also a possibility that you hinted at earlier that it may be that they don't like him very much.
Quite fair, when you say so.
Because you might resent your younger brother if they brought that much damage to the family. It would be, you get this, all families, you have conflict, don't you?
Yeah.
And sometimes at Christmas or in the summer holidays or whatever, you'll be like, we're not taking cousin Ian because
he's a pain in the...
Remember last time he came in, he drank all that all that white rum.
I don't want to meet your cousin Ian, Mark.
So argumentative. I'm cousin Ian. But it could well be that, and also, I mean, he's known to be a very not arrogant, not angry, an arrogant man. And do they want this pompous twit? Because you know, Balmoral is where they go to relax in the summer and chill out.
Can you imagine him bumbling downstairs every morning in his dressing gown? Christ almighty.
Creepy Uncle Andrew. Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, keep him away from the kids.
Oh, hello, darling. Come and sit on my knee. Oh.
Well, what a thought to end on, Mark. Look, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks so much for watching. Leave your comments. Tell us what you think. You know, Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau right to ostracise Harry and Meghan from their wedding? Should Andrew be snubbed from Balmoral? Tell us in the comments. We love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe. And don't forget, finally, smash that hype button, right, Mark?
I love the hype.
It does so much for us. We're going to lose it soon as well. We're nearly at 500,000 subs, Mark. #1 daily news podcast in the UK on YouTube. Nearly 500,000 subs. It's incredible. Thank you so much for your support. We really, really appreciate it. Until next time, thank you. Bye-bye for now.
Right, a quick pause in the podcast to tell you about our sponsor, Incogni. You had those phone calls from numbers you don't recognise, or you go in your inbox and there's emails for stuff you did not sign up for. Well, that's because someone somewhere is selling your private information. That's where today's sponsor comes in, Incogni. They will contact these people who have been taking your information and they'll say, oi, stop, delete it. Go to the website, incogni.com, you type in the details, 2 minutes later, Incogni are sorting it out for you automatically. And because I love you, I've got you a discount. It ain't 10%, it ain't 20, 60% off. 60% off an annual Incogni plan. Just go to incogni.com/Daily Expresso or click the link in the episode description box below.